Hello and welcome to Catholic News Roundup. I'm Christine Niles. Today's March 6th, 2026. Here are this week's top stories. The U.S. may be responsible for the deaths of more than 150 Iranian children. On the first day of the Iran war, the Shajara Tayyib Elementary School in MINAB was struck, killing those inside. Most of them were children aged 7 to 12. A claim initially went viral saying it was the result of an Iranian misfire, but that claim has since been debunked. The U.S. is neither confirming nor denying its involvement.
Can you give us an update on what the administration knows, what you know now about the reported strike on a girls' school in southern Iran on Saturday?
All I can say is that we're investigating that. We, of course, never target civilian targets, but we're taking a look and investigating that. Red tie in front.
Just on the basis that with the information you would have, your reconnaissance abilities, ability to gather information, I mean, it's several days on now. So is there any clarity on whose munition this was?
We're investigating it. Thank you.
A Pentagon briefing map at the same press conference shows MINAB lies squarely within the cluster of U.S. strike zones. The school was formerly part of a naval base of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. After 2013, it was separated from the compound by a wall and no longer part of the base. Nearby buildings include a pharmacy and athletic center. National security analyst Wes Bryant believes it was a target misidentification. According to the New York Times, quote, U.S. officials say the strike is still under investigation. If it's confirmed to be an American bomb that hit Shajara Tayyib, one question is likely to be whether the school strike was a mistake or whether it was targeted based on outdated information. It's the largest mass civilian casualty event in the war so far. U.S. commanders are calling the war with Iran God's plan. This according to more than 100 complaints filed by U.S. troops, alleging leaders are euphoric over the war, believing it is biblically sanctioned. Journalist Jonathan Larson reviewed complaints filed with the Military Religious Freedom Foundation. They come from 40 units stationed across 30 military installations. One commander allegedly said, quote, President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is a self-admitted Christian Zionist who supports the building of the Third Temple in Israel, where Antichrist will supposedly appear to bring Armageddon and usher in Christ's second coming.
1948 was a miracle. 1967 was a miracle. 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle. And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible. And that's why going and visiting Judea and Samaria, understanding that sovereignty, the very sovereignty of Israeli soil, and Israeli cities, locations, is a critical next step to showing the world that this is the land for Jews and the land of Israel.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration is doing damage control after admitted it got into the war because of Israel. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said this.
We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed.
Because Israel was determined to act with or without the U.S., our Commander-in-Chief and the administration and the officials I just named had a very difficult decision to make. They had to evaluate the threats to the U.S., to our troops, to our installations, to our assets in the region and beyond, and they determined, because of the exquisite intelligence that we had, that if Israel fired upon Iran and took action against Iran to take out the missiles, then they would have immediately retaliated against U.S. personnel and assets.
This was confirmed by Senator Mark Warner, a leading member of the Senate Intelligence Committee.
There was no imminent threat to the United States of America by the Iranians. There was a threat to Israel. If we equate a threat to Israel as the equivalent of an imminent threat to the United States, then we are in uncharted territory.
After backlash, Rubio backtracked, claiming that the U.S. was always going to strike Iran. It was just a matter of timing. The Supreme Court is banning California schools from keeping secrets from parents. On Tuesday, in a 6-3 decision, the High Court granted an injunction against the Escondido Union School District and state officials, forbidding them from implementing policies that allow teachers to hide students' gender identities from parents. It comes after parents sued the school district for violating their parental due process rights under the 14th Amendment. While it's not a final ruling, the Supreme Court agreed the parents are likely to win on the merits. In related news, fewer youth today are identifying as LGBT. This from analysis done by psychologist Jean Twenge, showing a steady rise in trans-identifying Americans starting in the 1970s, peaking in 2000, and then sharply declining back down to mid-1990s levels. This tracks with a study done by Eric Kaufman, showing a general decline in students identifying as non-binary over the last 3 years.
And they are telling us a similar story, which is a rise and a fall. Rise in non-binary identification, so neither male nor female, so that's agender, genderqueer, questioning, other, that kind of answer. It rose to a peak in 2023 and has halved since 2023. It's halved. So we've gone from, in the FIRE data, about 7% to below 4%, and in the Brown data from 5% to about 2.5%.
In South Carolina, the 10 Commandments may soon be posted in every schoolroom. The State House overwhelmingly passed a bill mandating that every classroom post the 10 Commandments, after heated opposition from Democrats, who complained it was indoctrinating students. Republicans argued it reflects the history on which this country is founded, pointing to a similar law in Louisiana that passed constitutional muster in the courts. A similar law in Texas is being litigated in multiple lawsuits, with some courts blocking the measure. That is this week's Catholic News Roundup. Just a programming note, I'll be on a Lenten retreat for the next couple of weeks, so there will be a hiatus on Catholic News Roundup, but we'll still be airing Forward Boldly. Please remember to go to stellamars.media to sign up to our email list for all the latest news and updates. Thank you so much for watching. May God bless your week. I'm Christine Niles.